There's not much to say, guys. There is not much to say at all around this topic, but it's a crazy one, and Astralis keeps on giving me a lot of news on this channel. Thank you very much. Now, speaking of, guys, the Daneland roster. Speaking of Daneland, trying to take over the entire world with this roster. When will it stop? We have no idea. In case you guys did miss it, brought to us by Decay. Of course, that great article will be linked down below. Feel free to give it a click through, guys. Some crazy news in the fact that Blast Pro is now considering mid-map roster changes or roster swaps or substitutions, whatever you do want to call it. And why this is crazy is currently when it comes to other events, especially Road to Rio for the major, they do allow substitutions, but it's going to cost you, even if you do it in between series, it's going to cost you 20% of the points you can earn. And if you add another player in, it's going to actually compound itself. So it's very costly in Road to Rio and major events right now to actually make these substitutions. All of a sudden, Blast Pro is now adding a rule or even changing the rule of what they had previously, which I talked about not too long, a couple months back, guys, when this whole 6-man roster rumor became a thing. You know what Blast Pro said? You can't change. You can actually change in between maps, not during a map. Now, all of a sudden, for some reason, I don't know why, I'm not going to say it. Guys, I would have no idea why Blast Pro in any form or way would now change their rulebook, which previously you could actually change from map to map if you could do so in the right time, right? There's obviously these scheduled breaks. There are very intermittent short breaks and windows to make these changes. And now, a couple months later, a team that might be historically tied to who runs Blast all of a sudden has a 6, 7, could be 8 and plus man roster in the future, and maybe they do want to actually have a plan to change players more intermittently. All of a sudden that pops up and Blast is like, well, now you can actually change during a game, which is, again, it's groundbreaking. Like, open your eyes, guys. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. So I like to think I don't need to say much and you guys understand what I am trying to say, right? And I really cannot wait for Richard Lewis and Thorne. I'm sure they have very, very busy weeks with everything going on right now. I will love to eat on up what they have to say about this because they know far more details than a lot of people out there of the connections of a couple of these things popping up. Either way, though, I think probably even a bigger talking point is, will other TOs capitalize on this? Will they also follow suit? Will Valve allow this, right? It's definitely going to be a big discussion point going forward because Valve, when it comes time for their majors, they obviously are going to say, hey, we want you to be punished or hindered and maybe not even allowed to make these roster substitutions without, facing some sort of punishment. Thus, making it more even grounds for 5-man teams who can't afford 6, 7, 8-man rosters. Valve has made their statement very clear. We want more level playing fields for all the teams out there. Whether you're Astralis or whether you're someone else, we want it to be more level and more fair. Now, Blast Pro is trying to actually change this up and saying, hey, you can change out your players from T to CT side, from half to half, if you guys want to. If that's really your goal and strategy, sure, we'll allow it. The giant open-ended thing going forward is, what about ESL, MLG, E-League, all the TOs out there? What are they going to say? And if they all do the same thing, will Valve step in and say, can you not do I don't know. It's very, very interesting, especially given the obvious connection between what I just talked about, right? The team and the TO. The team and the TO. The team now with an extra couple of men, and the TO that just changed their rulebook entirely. These are wild times. Thanks, Decay. That, again, will be linked down below for all of you guys. What do you think about this? Astralis is literally breaking the game. And I don't mean that in necessarily a bad or a good way. It's groundbreaking. It's crazy. All right. As you guys can tell, I've been drinking my coffee. You guys can drink yours, but also drink water on top of that, okay? Stay hydrated. Until next time, ta-ta.